Hey guys, and welcome to another Animal Crossing video. I'm Crossing Channel, and Animal Crossing New Horizons is 1 year old today, and I have been playing the game since the very first day that it came out, and I wanted to give you guys a tour of my island 1 year on to let you guys know how much it's progressed, what I've done with it. I've kind of shown off my island a little bit in my videos, but I've never given a thorough tour before, so I wanted to do that this time around and give you guys a proper look at everything that's going on. I don't really have a specific theme for my island, it's just very natural. I've kind of let nature take over, so you'll see that kind of theming. There's lots of farming kind of elements on my island, but I haven't really focused on any like core or anything like that, so yeah. I'm going to give you guys a look at my map first of all. So as you can see, there's my dream address. So if you want to actually visit my island, it is updated now. I'd love for you guys to visit. If you want to do your own tours on YouTube or post pictures of it on social media, please do. I'd love to see them. Of course, I'm at Crossing Channel on Instagram, so if you want to send them there, that would be great. Now, taking a look at my residents, we have Judy, Maple, Renee, Raymond, Audie, Lily, Bob, of course, Dom, Rosie, and Dobie. So I really have had some of these residents for quite a long time, like Renee and Bob and Raymond. I've had them for a really long time, and I honestly love all of my residents. I think they're all really great. I'm super happy with them. I have a second character named Wilson, who just kind of has a sort of secondary house on the island. I'm probably not going to show you any of the houses in this video. I'm going to focus on the actual island, but if there's interest, I could do a house tour too. So yeah, this is the outside of my house, and as you can see, it's got a nice sort of winding path leading up to it. I'm using a lot of custom patterns on my island, a ton of them. If you want any of them, the link is, not the link I should say, the codes are in the description of this video. So if you do want any of these codes, check out the description. If you can't find a code for a certain pattern, I don't have it sadly, I'm sorry about that. So yeah, if you make your way down here out of my house, you can see the abandoned bus stop. This is kind of a good example of how I've decorated my island. I want it to feel like nature has really taken over, and that sort of the parts of society here are just kind of built sort of into the natural stuff, you know. I didn't want my island to feel like a city. I didn't want it to feel too like formulated. I want it to feel very natural and kind of random in a way. So there is actually some symmetry because I'm a big fan of symmetry when designing stuff, but it's mostly as natural as can be. And as you can see, this sort of is blocking you from going down here. There used to be a road here, sort of you can imagine, this is where the bus would come, but now it's sort of all caved in down here, and it's not something you can access anymore. So if we come over here, we have the museum, and this area has changed drastically in the time that I've had it. The museum has always kind of been in this exact spot, but I've had so many different designs for it, and I finally settled on this one. This one fits my island theme the best. And one thing I will say as I continue this tour, and if you visit my island, I always recommend visiting my island and using the top-down camera perspective rather than the default one like this. I just feel like my island looks so much better when you can see every kind of detail, so I always use this camera angle when playing the game, and you'll notice that in this tour and my videos. So yeah, I'm really happy with my museum area. I basically almost completed my museum now, by the way. It's just art that I need. So yeah, you can come and sit here, and I'm using lots of these sort of mushroom items as well. Now, if we come over here, we have the famous Raymond's house. He's not in at the moment. I love Raymond though, he's such a great character. I've had him on my island for a really long time, since probably the first month, so yeah, I'm a big fan of Raymond. Now coming over here, we have another one of my absolute favourite characters, Audie. This is where Audie lives. She's got a very sort of tropical kind of themed house, it makes sense for her character. Here she is actually. Hello Audie. Oh, Racer. Okay, I'm not going to talk about that catchphrase, we don't need to talk about that. Thanks for chatting with us, Audie, and sharing your amazing catchphrase. So yeah, if we come over here, we have a sort of, this kind of lets you look out towards the sea, which is something I really like. I've used lots of sort of elevated areas when it comes to terraforming, so you'll see lots of stuff on top of cliffs and lots of water features and stuff like that. And here's my campsite, but you have to come around. Like I said, my island isn't the easiest to navigate, it is complicated, but I made my island for me at the end of the day, so I'm completely able to navigate it, and I love navigating it. I find it a lot more fun rather than it being super simple. So yeah, I'm definitely really happy with my island. Over here we have Rosie, who's got a sort of very natural kind of cliffside house, And up here we have Maple. So these guys are neighbors, I guess. They live very close to each other. And I've just kind of put some items outside their house to kind of make it feel more like an actual home, rather than just having it isolated. So yeah, here's the campsite down here. This only got changed recently. My campsite also used to look the same for a very long time, but I recently just went ham terraforming stuff on my island, so it's definitely changed a lot. If you make your way back here, you can get to the secret beach. I really like how this path actually works because it really does kind of make it feel even more secret and tucked away. So yeah, I really like this. Lots of stony items on my island as well. I mentioned the farm items and stuff like that, but yeah, lots of stone items too. So yeah, if we make our way down here, down this little staircase, there's a bridge where we can head over to this section of the island, but I'm going to head over here for now. This is where the farming elements kind of come in. You'll see lots of like pumpkins growing and scarecrows and stuff like that. This is where my Nook's Cranny is. My Nook's Cranny actually hasn't changed too much. The position of my Nook's Cranny has stayed the same since I put it down, I think. So yeah, this is basically the same, but I'm happy with it. It's kind of tucked away into the cliff, you know, which I like. And then if you come over here, this sort of leads you back to Audie's houses and Raymond's house. And going down this sort of pathway, you'll be at the Able Sisters. So it's pretty close to Nook's Cranny. It's kind of easy to get from one to the other. You know, I really like this little area. Again, it's very tucked away in the kind of mountains, and that's how I wanted it to be. This staircase will obviously take you back to the abandoned bus stop. And then coming down here, if we want to, we can see Renee's house. That's sort of, you know, again, tucked away. I've given her like own proper area, you know. So it's a bit more secluded, it's a bit more secret. She's got some privacy and some items that fit her. There's lots of like hay and stuff like that because she's a horse, of course. And all those items fit my island really well anyways. So there's a sort of little like camping area here, you know. It's not the nicest area, but it's a bit more dilapidated is the word I'd usually guess. But, you know, and then that pathway will lead you over here. And this is where it gets complicated. But if you come down this way, that'll lead you back up to my house. My house is just past here, and there's the abandoned bus stop. So if you come down here, you'll be able to see Dom's house. Now this whole area is something that actually changed recently. I used to have a marketplace here, but I just didn't really think it worked very well on my island, so I wanted to change it, and I just put Dom's house here. You know, it gives you nice access to the beach, and it's just a very natural kind of area. Again, more of these winding paths, so there's lots of like, you know, there's lots of little secrets and Easter eggs on my island that people could discover as they navigated around, you know? There's lots of little things tucked away and certain designs that I use to make it feel as natural as possible. And I really like how this has all turned out. My favorite thing about my island definitely is the fact that I'm using lots of terraforming to kind of elevate things and make an actual proper natural setting rather than just putting things wherever, you know? So I'm quite happy with how that's come out, because my island for the longest time I was not happy with it, so I'm finally a bit more happy with it. Now if you come down here, here's the little surfer shop, of course my homage to the Beach Boys. My island is called Kokomo, which is named after the Beach Boys song. A lot of people ask me that, so there's your answer. And more mushroom items. Guys, the mushroom items are so good. All of them are so amazing. I just love them all. So yeah, and I like doing little things like this as well, where I'll kind of put some little things on top of the water, you know, just so it doesn't feel so static. Over here is Judy's house, something that I also terraformed quite recently, you know. Again, it's tucked away like the other villages within a sort of little mountain. Down here we've got a little stable area, and I completely forgot about this. I guess this is where I was dumping a bunch of items, so please ignore that. There was a little cafe down here, but I'm probably going to change this up with maybe some Sanrio items. So yeah, let's just pretend that doesn't exist, and let's look at the stable area. Now, if you come through this little winding path again, I know, so many winding paths, you'll see my island entrance. My island entrance has kind of stayed the same for a while, but I really do love it. I think my island entrance is pretty cool. I like how there's a little bridge here, you know, I got that idea online, and I just thought, wow, this is going to work so well. So yeah, I really like that. And then you can obviously come up here. There's more tucked away stuff and more kind of farming elements, because we are getting close to the main farm on the island. And this is where Renee's house is, so this is where we were before. Now, obviously up there's the Able Sisters, and if you come around to this little pathway, you'll be taken to Lily's house. Lily's house is something that I literally just finished decorating today, so if it looks kind of a bit more random and unfinished, that is because I am not done with it yet. I'm still really happy with how it looks, you know. I feel like, again, it's kind of nice and secretive, you know. You have to go through this little sort of secret path to get to a house. I really like that, so I'm definitely happy with how it looks, but there's a little bit more work to do. So if you come over here, you'll be taken to the island's main farm, and of course it does kind of connect to the farm stuff that's near Nook's Cranny that you can see in the background. But yeah, this is the main farm where I'm doing my pumpkin farming. And this little pathway over here will take you to Resident Services where KK Slider is playing today. Very appropriate for the game's anniversary. You can also access the farm from up here as well, of course. So if we come down here, as you can kind of see, Resident Services has these 4 little circles. So there's one here that will lead to Lily's house and the farm. There's one up here that will lead to the farm. There's one here that will lead kind of more towards Nook's Cranny way. This little pathway, which I'm just going to show you very briefly, will lead you to Nook's Cranny. But I am going to head back to Resident Services. So you can see this is how you get to Nook's Cranny, another way you can get there. And then this little path down here, this little circle, will lead you to the island kind of park or square or whatever you want to call it. Just a sort of secret little parkway where there's some benches. I used to have this sort of thing here, this thing in the middle with the statue on it as my island's kind of town tree in a way, and it still kind of is, so that works quite nicely for me. I'm quite happy with this little tucked away area. There are so many tucked away areas on my island, which is something I really like because it's nice to just chill in them or sometimes go into them and see your villagers chilling in them. I really like that. So coming down this pathway, we have the Resident Services sort of main walkway. This hasn't changed much in a while, to be honest with you. I've been thinking about some ideas about how to change it, but it doesn't look too bad, so I'm quite happy with it. And of course, going over here will lead you to Resident Services. So coming this way, we have down here, it's kind of like, I've obviously decorated the beach a lot. This is where Wilson's house is. His sort of main theme is being an art collector. And around his house, you'll actually notice a lot of artwork. This used to be my kind of art garden, and I guess it kind of still is my sort of, you know, very sort of pristine feeling art garden, so I guess that's what you can call it. Then, if you come up here, we've got the island's little sort of snack area where all the snack and drink machines are if you're feeling thirsty and want a refreshment. This is something that's more like a city than anywhere else on my island. And over here is the main attraction, of course. This is Bob's house. I like to actually call this Bob's estate because look how much land he has. It's very private as well. You can't really get into it aside from this path and that path over there. There's no other way through. There's all these cliffs blocking you in. So yeah, Bob's got his own privacy, and I've put some items here which really match him, like this little sort of playground and these tire toys which you can see kind of around, you know, to sort of match Bob. And I feel like he'd also really like the snack machine, so it makes sense that they're close to his house, you know. So if Bob wants a snack, he can grab them, of course. Now, coming over this way, we have a sort of, again, a very natural and even more rocky kind of area on my island. It's hard to describe these places, but yeah, this is my sort of more junky beach. Oh look, there's Bob, we have to talk to him. Hi, how you doing? Let's have a chat, Bob. Kokomo is the perfect size, too big to see across, but too small for a sea monster to attack. Wow, that's kind of ominous, Bob. I don't like that. Why are you saying that? Good to talk to Bob, of course, on the anniversary of the game. So yeah, as you can see, this is more kind of junky. Maybe like some villagers had a camp out here and left their rubbish without throwing it away. How could they do that? I don't know, but yeah. And then up here, again, more kind of farming elements. There's lots of pumpkins around here, but I just think they look nice for decoration. Here's the bamboo section of my island coming up here. I feel like before I get onto that and get too distracted, I should just mention a little pirate setup here. My beaches honestly aren't too interesting. I just put little things like this on there. So yeah, little pirate section. So yeah, here's where the bamboo section of the island begins, and there's lots of little bridges to kind of lead you onto these different sections. It's almost like little islands in a way, which is something I'm a big fan of, you know, making little islands that you can kind of cross onto. So then coming up here, we have Dobie's house. This is where Dobie lives. I really like Dobie, and obviously he matches this theme so well, so I'm really happy with how his little area looks. And that kind of basically sums up Kokomo. That is pretty much everything. There are lots of hidden details, but I would rather you guys come and visit yourself and check them out by using my dream address. I'm going to once again show you that on the screen. So if you do want to visit, this is the dream address and you guys can come and check it out. I'd love to see your pictures or your videos if you want to share those on YouTube too. And I really hope you guys enjoyed this little tour of Kokomo. If you made it to the end, be sure to comment Bob's Gang down below. And I'd love for you guys to let me know what your favorite memories are of Animal Crossing New Horizons now that it's turned 1 year old. So thank you for watching. If you want to help support me and my channel, click the join button down below the video or the link in the description to become a channel member and a member of the Bob's Gang. You can get a whole bunch of really cool perks for doing so, such as exclusive emojis, a badge by your name, exclusive content and posts, and so much more, so be sure to check that out. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like, show support, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and turn on channel notifications for more Animal Crossing videos. You can check out my links and my merch in the description, and 2 Animal Crossing videos on the right side of the screen. Thank you once again for watching.